So unbelievably, Bitcoin is less than 3% away from hitting that $100,000 mark. So it's all-time highs once again. But ironically, it doesn't feel that much like a party. And part of the reason why is because a lot of the people are getting absolutely annihilated in the altcoin sector. So in today's show, we're going to have a look at when alt season. We're also going to have a look at if there is going to be some sort of a local top that could occur over here on Bitcoin, because it's a burning question, right? The burning question is this, right? What happens next? I posted this on Twitter. Sellers step in before $100,000, sets in a local top, and then we go back down, reaccumulate, or does Bitcoin overshoot the $100,000 mark, leaving the magnitudes of sideline money in total disbelief, chasing price up possibly into the $110,000 to $125,000 territory? This is ultimately what we have to try and ask ourselves today as we go through all the content, all the relevant information, and make some sort of a determination of where we're at within this cycle. Now, all the cycles before this have rhymed significantly, but there are always slight deviations and I guess trap scenarios that sprout out on you. So we have to be careful of these things. Smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel. And let's get straight into it. Actually, maybe hardest, you can quickly put up a poll for us. I'd love to know this question is, are you feeling euphoric or are you feeling a little bit scared at these current levels? Let me know in the comments so long. Are you feeling euphoric or are you feeling scared? Hardest, you can just put that up as a poll as well. Vote which one you currently feeling, and let's get into it. So we spoke about this yesterday with the push-up that we've got right now, based on the simple reason that the market continues to try and build shorts, which engineers liquidity slightly above, right? We spoke about hitting that $95,000 mark, which had at the time about $30 million worth of liquidity. That built up to 43 million and liquidity taken, right? So price smashing through those levels over there and ultimately driving price onwards and upwards. We actually also dropped it in the Whale Room Discord. If you went here yesterday, you could see that a lot of the market on the deltas were running net shorts over there. So that was an additional sign that you probably were going to get a bit of a squeeze. If we look at the reset of those deltas, well, it's actually not that different. Only Bitcoin's ticked up ever so slightly. Ethereum heavily short over there. If you look at NEAR, heavily short over there. WIF heavily short. Pepe heavily short. There could be a massive rotation that's coming into the altcoin sector. So stay tuned until the very end of the show because there is now's the time, right? Now's the time to establish your longer term positions while everybody is heavily focused on Bitcoin and people are majority capitulating on the altcoin sector. This is where your 100x gains are typically found. So I understand the emotional turmoil that a lot of people may be going through, especially if you're an ETH holder, because this is what the Bitcoin dominance chart looks like, just ripping towards the upside. But if this were any other old chart, a 5-minute chart, a 10-minute chart, 15-minute time frame chart, how would you be trading this? Well, very simply put, it would be as easy as this. You'd look for weakness at the order block that led to the initial breakdown of the Bitcoin dominance leading into the 2021 altcoin season. And it was always a target in mind that we were expecting price to move into that level. And now we've moved into that level. It could still continue. It could keep pushing higher. The next intended target would then be as high as about $65,000, which would be a rejection off of this trend line. And I would say with high confidence, I'd look for weakness, not only for the simple fact that that's a major resistance level, but also due to the fact that it's a complete overextension and annihilation, I guess, by the bulls, which means you have to reset. You have to have some sort of a pullback. And when that pullback comes and the breakdown comes on the Bitcoin dominance chart, you should see the inverse happen, of course, on the ETH BTC chart, right? So here's your ETH BTC chart, really dropping like a rock in water over there, but it's similar to Bitcoin, has the order block that led to the big move up over here. You have a weekly level key zone, which is coming in between 0.02 and 0.031 on the ETH BTC chart. And we are expecting some sort of a major bounce or reaction from that zone. It still remains a question of whether you're going to see a bottom over there. If history repeats and the cycles repeat, we know that Q4 for Bitcoin is the best performing quarter, specifically the month of November. And we know that Q1 or Q1 for ETH is typically the best performing quarter. And the timing couldn't rhyme any more significantly than what it is right now, as we simply observe this coming into key levels, as we simply observe the Bitcoin dominance pushing also up into the key levels. And now is not really the time to capitulate out of your altcoins, right? First and foremost, you should have always made sure that any of the altcoins that you are buying are in an uptrend against their Bitcoin pair. So if it's Solana BTC, it should have looked like this, right? In the form of high highs and high lows. And if you did that, you would be making more money than holding Bitcoin alone. But if your altcoin looks like this against Bitcoin, well, that's on you, right? You're going to have to play it correctly in the next cycle. Now's not really the time to capitulate, even if you were in one of those positions when this is pretty much reaching the end of its move, right? If you sell now into Bitcoin, you're doing it wrong. Ultimately, you're going to end up getting wrecked in that environment. So 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓 says over here, and a lot of people are identifying this sentiment within the market, right? BTC's incredible strength sowed seeds of doubt in the altcoin sector. We understand how you guys feel. And those seeds of doubt are what create the next opportunity, right? This is where the 100x opportunities come into play. I'll lay it down for you very, very briefly and simply. The 100x opportunities are typically going to be in the lower cap meme coins. You should be able to identify which layer ones have the most strength and have been outperforming for the entirety of the cycle. And then you need to look to the low cap ecosystem plays on those layer ones. So for example, this is why a lot of the best opportunities are currently still in the meme coin sector on Solana, because Solana has been the best performing layer one, and the lowest cap meme coins and the easiest accessible meme coins to the market with the lowest barrier to entry for any retail participant to get into is still using the Phantom wallet on Solana and buying meme coins over there. So I know some people are sick of hearing meme coins, and you're probably wondering, when the hell are your utility tokens going to run? When is DeFi going to run? Well, I will remind you that each cycle there's a different narrative that tends to drive that altcoin season. And what initially starts as the leader tends to continue to be the leader for the rest of the cycle. So in 2020 and 21, it was the DeFi summer, and DeFi continued to drive the momentum for the entire bull run into the top of 2021. And in this cycle, it's meme coins, right? It is what it is. Don't worry too much about the name or the emojis or the ticker or what the image looks like of the project. At the end of the day, these are just simple vehicles for us to accumulate more wealth and hopefully accumulate more Bitcoin, right? And it's really as simple as that. So he says, you've seen this happen repeatedly with new reasons sprouting up each time for why rotation will not happen, but every single time it happens, right? Every single time it does come into play. So we're witnessing something very, very major over here. We said that this was the high probability play on the USDT dominance, was that you're going to grind into this level and probably lead into a deeper breakdown. And if you do this, that should lead to the next parabolic advancement for Bitcoin, and you should see things continue. Now, this is a super significant level, and the reason why is this level held for 7 years, right? 7 years. This trend line has been holding a support on the USDT dominance. Simply put, every time we had a major bounce off of this level, as marked by the vertical lines, you tended to see a major Bitcoin top occur. Now, we said that this time is likely going to be different in the sense that we'll probably break it down based on the grinding into this level. We provided you with invalidation zones. I could probably go with a more cautious level now, since price action is playing out a little further, and we can go with a tighter invalidation and probably put that over there, and we can say let's give it a little bit more room. Let's say 4.63%. If you do start to break above that level, that's your first warning sign that maybe the USDT dominance is going to actually spike, go up higher one more time, at which point you do put in some sort of a local top. So we have to outline the risk factors. But at the moment, when I look at the momentum versus the potential risk factors, I always side with momentum, right? The momentum is very, very strong when you leave an 8-month trading range, which is what we've seen for Bitcoin. And despite how the feelings are right now, I'm sure some of you feel, maybe you should consider taking a bit of profit, but there's nothing to suggest that this train is about to stop, right? It's still very, very powerful. Bitcoin moving towards the upside, high highs, high lows, explosive following an 8-month trading range. And we have the USDT dominance about to break down. And this will be the final act that will bring absolute fireworks into the market. If you see that dropping 21%, expect that a lot of money is going to flow into the crypto sector, right? So if we study that fear and greed, which we looked at briefly this week, we said that we printing the periods of green dots over there. Simply, that means that we're in the 90 to 100 zone for the fear and greed. But a lot of people use these signals incorrectly and fail to identify when a strong trend is taking place, right? When a very, very powerful trend is about to take place, which was the key level breaking and flipping $69,000 from prior resistance into now support, we said that was going to create a massive springboard and catapult price higher. And that's exactly what happened. We overnight almost went from $69,000 to $96,000, pretty much just inverse those numbers, right? And that happened in quick succession with the presence of only just one of these dots, well, two. We have two dots now in the extreme greed above that 90 mark, and you can stay there for a couple of weeks. The other important thing to understand and to remember is that in markets, if you miss the best 2 weeks of the markets of the year, you pretty much miss 80 to 90% of all the gains and the profits. So it's very important to remain grounded, stay in the market, remain in the market, because if you do start to see this parabolic advancement at least continue, then you could be experiencing the majority of the gains, especially when it comes to the crypto sector, the altcoin sector, right? Not just Bitcoin, but the actual altcoin sector, while we witness Bitcoin dominance reaching for those extreme highs, right? So instead of trying to get too fancy by trying to short sell the top or take your profits at what you believe is the exact cycle top, my highest recommendation is that it's probably best to wait for the chart to actually prove to you that it's breaking down the trend and a local top has been set in play, and then to only take profits after that. Now that does mean that you'll be giving up some of your profits. You're not going to be selling the pico top. And by the way, when I say the pico top, I'm not talking about the cycle top and that the cycle is over. I'm talking more about just a complete overextension of the move and maybe some sort of a pause or shorter term correction. We'll have a look at the longer term cycle to determine, where are we within this particular cycle. So with that being said, extreme greed is not reason enough to exit the market yet. Extreme greed for prolonged periods of time while other metrics are off the charts, now that starts to become reason enough to start to exit the market. That we have not yet seen, right? So this was the key 69K level. Well, you had the 60K level that you did the SR flip in, and then you had the 69K level, which was the final zone over here, which you once again flip. We said once you do convincingly flip that into support, you should catapult up and have a complete extension away from that 21 exponential moving average, just like we saw in every other part of the cycle, right? You can see over here, when you're above that 21 EMA and it's angled towards the upside, generally speaking, price just continues to rip and you're in a powerful, strong bull market. Now, of course, there's multiple scares that occur along the way where the price actually breaches below that 21 EMA, but the key point is there's no closing candles underneath that and it remains angled towards the upside, and consequently you get the bounce and you get the bounce, and that holds you in for the whole cycle, right? And then you go into your bear market, you attempt to reclaim it. We led into COVID. You lead into your next bull market. You start to lose it. You go into the bear market, and then you reclaim it. And this is essentially where we're at, right? Price is above it. And you can notice as well, if you have a look and you study what happened in the 2017 cycle, sometimes you'll remain overextended, right? And price doesn't actually come back to test it in these extremely parabolic bullish moves. This is something that could be taking place right now. If you study the stochastic RSI underneath as well, you'll witness something very, very similar. When price gets into that environment, meaning it's reaching above the 80 mark and holding in that level, this typically leads to drastic moves, even when it's not a bull market, right? So even if it's just a dead cat bounce, you tend to see price putting in pretty sizable moves. Now, as you can see over here, we haven't spent even nearly as much time with the stochastic RSI above that 80 mark as what we did in the prior parts of this cycle as well as the last cycle, which means there's still a lot of opportunity in the, at least in this move, and there's a lot of momentum that's still left behind. So we can gauge when things start to get extremely overheated by looking at this chart. This is your short-term bubble risk, and essentially what it does is it will calculate and measure how overextended is price away from that 21 exponential moving average, right? And it can remain like that elevated for quite long periods of time. Currently, we are about 40% above that 21 EMA, and many people will look for a mean reversion trade. But it's important to understand that in a powerful trending move, the trend is your friend till the end. So don't look for the mean reversion until such time as you see true signs of weakness, for example, on the lower time frame. And when we have a look at this chart over here, which simply states which band we're currently in, meaning how overextended are we? You typically want to probably side on caution when you get above 1.75 to 1.2. Now, if we zoom into the current bull market that we've had, let's go into that environment. We're not yet at that phase. If I pop it on and off the screen over here, you can see we're currently only printing the 1.5 to 1.75. The majority of the time we've been in the 1.25 to 1.5 level, and it's mostly when you get into these extremes, which we haven't yet seen, right? If I put on 1.75 to 2, you can see this has marked the final blow of tops of the cycle, and we're not yet at that phase, right? So all in all, I'm going to continue to hold. But if you do study this indicator as well, typically what you want to be doing is in the lower regions over here between 0.5 and up to about 1.25. You typically want to be allocating more capital into the markets. And if you look at where price is now, well, we've recently just pressed past that. So now you're in neutral territory. It kind of becomes a little bit sketchy to keep putting new capital into Bitcoin specifically. Altcoins is a different story, right? Altcoins, there's still opportunity over there because Bitcoin typically leads into these extreme moves, and then you see the rotational game take place, which is exactly in alignment with what we're seeing on the rise of the Bitcoin dominance chart over there. So with that being covered, let's move into the Bitcoin cycle and showcase more or less where we're at. Now, things are moving very, very quickly, but as I'll show you in a moment's time, everything is moving almost exactly like it has in the prior cycle. It's just your emotions that feel like things are slightly different. At the end of the day, the RSI is perfectly moving towards the upside, just like it did in the prior cycles. And really, the parabolic advancements tend to actually occur when that monthly RSI crosses above the 80 mark over here, which we yet to see. Now, if we were trending above that 80 mark on the RSI and all of these other signs and symptoms of local tops or major tops were playing out, I would start to, really encourage people to take profit. You can take profit depending on your strategy. There's no reason not to, but you definitely don't want to take every single chip off the table just yet. Because in terms of the cycles, this would still suggest that this cycle could go on anywhere into August to November 2025, right? So nothing on this chart suggests that we should be exiting the market yet. If we look at the next chart over here and we gauge where are the major resistance levels coming into play, we do, of course, have the 1.68 fib extension when we anchor from the high to the low over there, and price is about to hit that. So this is what remains a mystery, right? Is there going to be a bit of profit taking into this region now, or are we going to completely overshoot that level? I think the more important question to ask is, how do we close the monthly candle around this level, right? Do we close it with a big wick above, or do we close it with a strong full-bodied candle above that level? Well, we only have a couple of days left for the month, so it's going to be incredibly telling. I'm currently on the 2-week scale on this chart, and what I wanted to look at over here as well is if you study the BBWP, which is simply a volatility indicator on the bottom over here, you can see it's only recently just started to turn towards the upside. Now, the majority of the cycle tops were put in, if we look over here, when it got into extreme red, right? This one almost printed the red bands, but ultimately it still reached into that 95 to almost 100 zone, right? That's your cycle top that occurred over there. And if you look at this current cycle, where are we at right now? Well, it's still moving onwards and upwards. So if you trail this along, you can see, and it follows this trajectory, it could very, very easily, that Bollinger Band with percentile, continue to grind up and still reach into those high levels somewhere around that October deadline that we've given, right? October to November 2025. So all in all, theoretically, everything is still perfectly on track. You may get a temporary pause in the market around this 100K level. And in the worst case scenario, you'll get a pullback, which would ultimately lead into a higher low. And the reason for that is because we're currently on a TD sequential 9 top. Now, this works out when momentum starts to wean off, when momentum starts to slow down. And currently, the 9 count candle suggests a pause or a small correction. But longer term, cyclically, everything is on track, and we can see it from this chart as well, right? If we look at the total market cap year to date for 2012, and we look at 2016, these were the post-halving years, 2020 and 2024. You can see, where are we, right? Well, we're currently more or less exactly where we were in the price cycles. And in actual fact, you can expect continuation of the total cryptocurrency market cap, meaning a breakout, into maybe that $4 to $5 billion mark, or excuse me, let's just quickly go back to that. It would be into the $4 to $5 trillion mark, possibly taking you to the 2.618 fib extension for that total cryptocurrency market cap. So this is what the evidence suggests to us, right? We need to look to the evidence. We need to look to the price cycles to make some sort of a determination. We can also have a look over here at Bitcoin, and we can look at 2012, 2016, 2020, and 2024. And you can see as well, exactly as expected, we on target, right? You're looking for maybe a little bit further continuation into the end of the year. And then we can look to the next years, right? So let's go to the next years, which would have been the final blow off top of those cycles, 2013, 2017, 2021. Now you would have to look from left to right. So the left-hand side over here would measure, that would be the 1st of January. And what you can see is for the first 100 days of that year, most of those cycles we led to continuation up. Then you tend to pause through the rest of the year. And then at least in 2 of those 3 cycles, you led to strong continuation to finish the cycle off, right? So from the most part, everything looks pretty much on track, right? You can use this chart as well. It's the 5-day chart. We just printed our new 5-day candle, opened it yesterday, and we spoke about looking at that 3 exponential moving average, or 3 MA, excuse me, the 3 moving average, simple moving average on the 5-day time frame, holding as support. And each of the prior candles lows have tested that and then led to continuation up following this breakout of that all-important $69,000 level. So everything is intact, right? It's important to understand as well that these moving averages will continue to rise, and the purple one, which is going to be major support, is going to clear that 69K level. And then in the event that you do put in that TD9 top, which is coming in on this candle over here, you put in the TD9 top and it puts in a correction. If you do get a pullback, there's going to be formidable strength that's going to be in this area, and you're just going to end up having a macro higher low. So all in all, it's looking pretty good, right? All in all, there's no problems over here. I know some altcoins may be getting obliterated, especially if you are in ETH maxi, but that tide should turn very, very soon, possibly in the next 60 days, right? Give or take. In the next 60 days, we should start to see a breakdown of the Bitcoin dominance into the new year, because this is what we've previously seen. So right now we're watching Bitcoin on the daily time frame. We've broken above this level. The pink box over here is going to be a significant support region in the event that you do have some sort of a pullback. Now, I'm definitely not calling for a pullback or anything yet, but if you do get it, that's going to be the area of interest around that $89,000 level. This was your prior consolidation that led to the breakout. And in pullback environments, you look for the pullback into the consolidation level, which is going to be situated between $87,000 and $92,000. So give or take, I'm saying about $89,000. We have to provide pretty wide ranges when the market moves this quickly, right? That is the way that it works. So yesterday, I gave this in the Whale Room Discord. This was the trade setup over here. Stop loss at $91,867. Take profit at $100,000 and $684, and that was based on the ascending triangle breakout. We covered this as well on the show. I just didn't give you the exact levels like I did in Whale Room. That's one of the benefits of being in the Whale Room Discord, and we can see over here price has broken out. So I do expect that this consolidation that we're seeing right now on the hourly time frame is most likely later on today, possibly when the New York session opens, going to lead into the next breakout to fulfill that move. So do keep all eyes on this as we hit that key $100,000 level. This is a major psychological barrier, and there'll be many people that are aware of that. So many people will be trying to front run and take profit slightly before. Some may even put in short trades at this level, looking to time the top essentially. And that's where you need to have pretty much your wits about you and pay attention to the chart, because that's where you could experience that blow through, right? In the same way that we've seen every other time that they've been building up that liquidity. So if you want more information on that, we'll keep you up to date in Whale Room, because if you do go into the group over here, we are updating you, as you can see, with trading lights, having a look at exactly how many orders are being placed at each of those levels. This is one way that we can actually identify where the major levels of support are and where the big players are looking to sell. So that gives you your trigger plans. It helps you to execute those trades at those key levels. If you do want to join into Whale Room, by the way, guys, there is still the Black Friday special which is running. Let's just quickly pause that over there. Let's mute that. There is the Black Friday special, which is running. Everything is listed below over here. Just go through into the Whale Room. Click on that. There you go. If you click on that, it'll open up a page. This is going to end at the end of this month, of course. So if you want to see what the rest of the market think, you can go through onto the WAP page. You can have a look at all the reviews. This is one of the wealthiest trading groups in the entire world, and you're getting a 42% discount. All right, so let's continue on over there. So for Bitcoin, that's what I'm looking at. It's just bull flag after bull flag on a low time frame. You get a big move up, you consolidate, you put another big move up, and I think 100,000 is very, very likely going to occur today. If you did take this trade with us on Blowfin, make sure you registered for the $1 million trading competition. Remember, this is a non-KYC'd exchange, right? So if you don't want to give up your personal information and you're looking for a place to trade, this is the place to do it. Also, they have the 𝗕𝗢𝗥𝗡 security, which means your funds are safe. There's no possible way that anyone that works at Blowfin, even the founders, can touch your capital. It's protected by 𝗕𝗢𝗥𝗡, which is a third party, at least market participant, right? So you can also get 10% cash back if you sign up between these dates, the 20th to the 27th. So you put $10,000 in, they'll give you $1,000 as well with that, topping your account up to 11,000. And then you get to participate in the Winner Bitcoin, right? Which is in the description below. So you get a guess, the price, whoever gets closest on the 1st of January, you win yourself a full Bitcoin. All right, I think we should get into some of the altcoins. Binance listings are definitely something that create massive pumps because this is where the majority of the retail traders trade. It's going to be between Binance and Coinbase. And if you have a look at this over here, next coin listed on Binance, well, currently the prediction markets are running polls between Popcat, Mooding, Goat, and 𝗏𝗏. You'll know that Popcat and 𝗏𝗏 are two of our top picks as blue chip coins that we're going to hold for the majority of the cycle. Now, this is still going to be where those 100x gains are going to come from, right? And although it doesn't feel like it, although it feels like maybe altcoins will never run, the fact is if you've been choosing coins like Popcat, like 𝗏𝗏, like Mooding or Goat that have constantly been going up throughout the cycle, when the retail truly do come, which they're coming back, we know they're coming back slowly, and we see the Bitcoin dominance break down over here with USDT dominance breaking down, ETH BTC breaking up, that's where you're going to start to see many of these coins, which even have valuations close to $1 billion now, still run into that region of 25, 50, and $75 billion, right? So you can either play it safe going with the blue chips, taking a cool 20 to 25x return from current levels, or you can go further down the risk curve, which of course comes with a higher chance of loss. We can go through the list. If any of you think you have the next 100x coin, let us know in the chat section over here. Typically, a 100x coin opportunity is going to be something that you're buying now under $25 million market cap that has the potential to become worth billions and billions. Let me know in the comments. I can see a lot of you are spamming the same coins over here. Lo-Fi Guy. We have Jasmine, Mad, DCH, Goku, GRMX. Let me know in the comments, guys. I'll go and have a look at some of these coins. One or two of the ones you're mentioning, we know have, of course, already been dropped in Whale Room. But let's go through the list of coins, right? So first and foremost, we need to study that total cryptocurrency market cap, which looks relatively strong, right? Everything looks fine over here. Let's move over onto the weekly time frame. In terms of timing cycles, it's going to look very, very similar to what we've seen over here on these charts with where we expect prices to go. So as long as the total cryptocurrency market cap is moving up, putting in high highs and high lows, we expect that altcoins should eventually catch a bid, and the stronger ones are going to do even better. Now, timing-wise, we still have a long time left, right? We're looking at this going on for about another 300 to 320-ish days for the total cryptocurrency market cap. Now, there probably will be major pullbacks that occur along the way. Make sure that you have cash available to buy those dips to reduce your average entries when those things do come. Total 3 is, of course, going to be for the altcoin sector. As you can see here, it's not even yet close to breaking those all-time highs. So despite the fear that the market feels rather toppy at the moment, I would start to get more cautious if this was extending well beyond that $1.2 trillion mark, which means breaking above those all-time highs. Until that happens, I will continue to build positions within the altcoin sector with extreme caution, right? If you look at others as well, others is nowhere near breaking up above that $460 billion mark. So all in all, there is still plenty of opportunity over there, right? You can see total 3 is coming back down once again into that pivot level. If you're in the wrong coins, you're feeling it. You're definitely feeling the pain. But the pain should come to an end very, very soon. Your worst case scenario is still another 25% drop. Okay, for others, others is also fast approaching its important support level. This is measuring the other cryptocurrencies that are not in the top 10 against Bitcoin. And you can see how much longer has this got to drop, possibly about another 10 to 20%. So the middle of that line is going to be about 13%. If you drop all the way down, it's going to be about 20%. So 10 to 20%, and we should start to see some sort of a bottom on the altcoin sector, right? So I'm looking at a bunch of coins. We can open up some of these charts now. Drop your requests. I'll make sure to pull those up. One that I'm looking at over here is 𝗏𝗏𝗧. As I explained over here, if you can identify something that has potential that will gain hype within the cycle. Now, 𝗏𝗏𝗧 is a layer 2 built on ETH, and you can see it's creating that rounded bottom. Those of you who have been around for a couple of months now will know that we've identified tons of coins that we're putting in the falling wedge, right? The falling wedge price then broke out. Bitcoin did exactly the same thing, breaks out the falling wedge, stalls a little bit, chops about, creates this range level, and then ultimately slowly starts to grind up. And consequently, you're left with this cup and handle formation, right? And when you break out of that cup and handle formation, you're obviously looking for a big move. This is not where the alpha lies. The alpha lies in understanding which projects are going to provide mega opportunities that are higher beta plays on these coins, right? So if 𝗏𝗏𝗧 is going to go up and break out to that $200 level in the coming weeks and months, which coins are the lowest caps that you can gain exposure to? Well, one of the coins that I found is called 𝗪𝗐. 𝗪𝗐 is essentially the mascot to 𝗏𝗏𝗧, in the same way that you have Foxy, which is the mascot to Linear on the Linear chain, and we've seen Foxy do incredibly well. Well, 𝗏𝗏𝗧, or at least 𝗪𝗐, would hopefully provide the same sort of opportunity. So please do keep your eyes out on that one. Have a look for the launch of 𝗪𝗐, which hasn't yet come out, but it should be launching anytime soon now. All right, let's go into some of the other coins. Let's check our usual blue chips like Solana. How is Solana doing? As long as Solana is healthy, we should see continuation. So Solana still putting in high highs and high lows. It's really doing the whole stairs up thing, right? You just need to be careful of the stairs up, elevator down. Usually people take the stairs down and the elevator up, but we know in charting and trading it works differently, right? So stairs up, there we go, stairs up. As long as it keeps putting the stairs up like that, all you have to do is trail your stop loss underneath. And I guess because everyone trails their stop loss underneath, that's what leads to the elevators down when you capture that liquidity. But for now, all in all, Solana is looking really good for continuation. And this one should be moments away from breaking all-time highs, right? You got the, let's actually mark off that all-time high over there. Okay, let's put that in. So your all-time high, have we got it exact? There we go. Let's see. Let's just measure this out. All-time high for Solana, there it is, $259. $259. Very, very soon, we should cross that point. Once you do, you want to see Solana hold above that 260 level of support. Remember, the measured move based on this rectangle, which we're looking at, took price, well, it should take price just below that $300 mark, and then expect a bit of a slowdown for Solana, right? If Solana can slow down, so push up there, slow down, hold, 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 hold. This would be very similar to how we were looking for the big deviation on Bitcoin. I think I have that chart over here. So if you look at this, this will be similar to how we were looking at Bitcoin to consolidate and deviate that key $60,000 level. And that led to the springboard up. Then we should see the same thing take place on Solana. So expect once Solana breaks all-time highs, it's probably going to spend a bit of time forming a range between $260 and about $300. That range will provide a strong foundation to catapult price higher. And who knows how high Solana goes, right? Maybe $400, maybe $800 within the cycle. It really depends on how long the cycle goes on for. Okay, let's have a look at TON. TON still broke the downsloping trend line, moving through a bit of a range now, so sideways price action. I do expect when Bitcoin dominance breaks down, TON should be one of the top performers in terms of the layer ones. We also identified Tron as one of the top layer ones, despite I guess the distaste for 𝗪𝗏𝗧 as a character within the space, your excellency, 𝗪𝗏𝗧. But at the end of the day, this chart is bullish, right? High highs, high lows. It actually looks pretty similar to Solana. If you are long on this, that is your swing low. Stop loss goes below that level over there, which is going to be 1739. Let's take a look at Casper. Okay, Casper, all you want to see is Casper hold above this mid-range, which is 14 cents. As long as it can keep defending this level of support, your next target becomes 18. And similar to what I showcased on Solana, I'm just going to remind you, if we go to Solana, you can see you played out this rectangle, right? You played out this rectangle. That was your range. That gave you your measured move. You should get exactly the same thing over here on Casper, which means Casper's theoretically better value than Solana right now. So you're looking at that as your rectangle and your measured move taking it up to 27 cents, right? So if you do get a mid-range entry over there at 14 cents to 27 cents, 95% move. And I think that this one probably continues afterwards. All right, what else, guys? Drop your requests over there. We'll have a look at them. I see a lot of you are asking about 𝗕𝗎𝗓 as well. Let's have a look at 𝗕𝗎𝗓. 𝗕𝗎𝗓 is one of the earliest meme coins that I got into. This is Vitalik Buterin's cat. So Vitalik on ETH. We expect that when ETH BTC rallies and ETH starts to perform, we should see 𝗕𝗎𝗓 doing very well. Now, you'll remember the story with 𝗬𝗎𝗓. 𝗬𝗎𝗓 are provided as an entry, in the very, very low market cap level. I think it was, something like not even above $1 million market cap. It was super low. 𝗕𝗎𝗓 was exactly the same thing. Remember I'll show you what 𝗬𝗎𝗓 did in just a moment, but keep an eye out on this. Maybe you're going to get something similar, right? So Remember's got their entry all the way down here before this big move up. Price ran, came back down, bled. Maybe this is going to pull a 𝗬𝗎𝗓-like move, right? I hope so. Then we get another 2000x. So if we look at 𝗬𝗎𝗓, this is what 𝗬𝗎𝗓 looks like. 𝗬𝗎𝗓 is a cat, right? A cat built on ETH. Let's just let that load up. Remember, the narrative is that cats could potentially flip dogs, right? So Remember's got in, same thing, all the way down here on this candle, which occurred on the 3rd of March. And that's ultimately what we saw next, right? We saw this gigantic run all the way up for 203,000% gain, which is a 2,000% return. So big move over there. Keep an eye out on 𝗕𝗎𝗓. Maybe you do get something similar from that. Only time will tell. Phantom. Let's have a look at Phantom. Okay, Phantom still holding up. Level to defend. You have your upsloping trend line. You've got some interim support coming in at about 58 cents on Phantom, right? So key level, keep an eye out on that zone. Mantra's putting in a little bit of a pullback. I'm still holding my position over there. If you are looking for an entry level on this, your obvious zone is going to be the 0.5 level. That's going to be at 290. So if this comes back down over there, you might see Mantra, which is a real asset play, forming a big range like that, right? And if it can hold that, that creates a bull flag, and then you lead to continuation up later on in the cycle. So Mantra over there. What else? Okay, we can have a look at Turbo. I see there's a request on Turbo, the meme coin. Let's see. Some of the memes getting punished, of course, with Bitcoin dominance rallying like this. Levels. Okay, it's breaking this upsloping trend line. You don't want to see it lose the prior higher low, right? So you have a very, very clear invalidation over here on Turbo. This is going to be your invalidation under that level. I'm going to read the last, or let's go. It's easier to read the first digits, 0.00698. That's the level. That was your prior high low. That was your trend line. You've broken the trend line. This is showing you a slowdown phase with the momentum. So on the daily time frame, it depends what time frame you're trading. On the daily, you want to see this hold up. You want to see it break back above this level to test the support. If it doesn't hold that, this is a big deviation, and then you're probably going to come back down to the mid level over here, which is where your prior high low was. That is 0.005. You're looking at about 0.005. Okay, Myro, we can also have a look at. Still doing okay. I think if you are looking for a place to load up, pretty good zone over here. True invalidation is below those lows, it's a wide invalidation, but guys, risk to reward, it still makes sense because you're targeting all the way to the top side over there. So 0.0722, you don't want price to come below that level. All right. What else? What else have we got? Let's look at 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓. I know 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓 was pulling back. So we should probably have a look at that one. This is what I said was most likely to happen when we covered yesterday's show. This is similar to Mantra, right? Following a huge move up, expect a little bit of a pullback, a consolidation. Your key level to pick up 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓, if you still want exposure to this, is going to be at 1678 are the last digits. It is written on the screen there, timestamp. Brett, okay, Brett is still looking okay over here. You want to see Brett hold up, put in a high low, and then immediately reclaim the top side of the range at 18. Failure to reclaim 18 means you're probably going to end up buying Brett back down here just below 13 cents, right? 0.1296. Okay, we'll take a couple more requests, guys. Before we do, I do just want to mention I've been receiving messages from people where they think that they're talking to me. Please remember, I will never DM you or ask you anything about crypto or secret trading fund. You guys know how sophisticated artificial intelligence has become. They can even send voice notes now. They have tons of samples to use from the shows to get my voice, to get my facial expressions. I mean, guys, it's not me. The easiest way in the world to not get scammed is to never give your money to anyone else. That's the easiest way. Don't ever give any money, not even 1 cent, to anyone else. The other steps that you can take to help you against phishing attacks and things like that, of course, is going to be NordVPN, right? So check out NordVPN. They're running a Black Friday special right now. It costs less than the price of a cup of coffee, right? In a first world country, $3.27 per month to protect yourself and potentially save your entire crypto portfolio. Go a step further. If you are a degen meme coin trader, which I know most of you are, please consider using a ledger. Connect your Phantom wallet to the ledger. It means you have to manually approve each transaction on the ledger, which will reduce the possibility of you getting hacked, right? You can read through sometimes on Phantom, on the Phantom wallet. If you click something that's a Trojan horse, for example, a Trojan attack, basically, you may give them permission to take all of your coins. But even if you click it and you don't manually approve it on the ledger, your funds are safe, right? So stay safe out there. There is Black Friday specials on both. The link is in the description below. I have all of these ledgers. I actually have this one here right next to me. There it is. I just don't have the orange strip. But you're getting this for, I think it's about $300. I'm in the UAE. And then, of course, your VPN, you can see I always keep my VPN on. I'm keeping the VPN on now, even during the stream, because I know the scammers are targeting me right now as we do the show. They're always targeting me. Okay, cool. Let's continue. What else? What else have we got, guys? Injective, GRT, sure. Doge, HBAR. Let's go to Injective, and then we'll go to what was the other one? Let's quickly go to Injective. Where's Injective? How am I missing this? I know it's right here. I feel like I'm losing my mind, guys. There it is, Injective. Let's also have a look at NEAR. So Injective on the daily. Okay, still holding up. Ultimately, you want Injective to just get above this mid-range level over here. This is going to be an important SR flip. Remember, the SR flips become choppy, right? Sometimes it takes time. You're looking at something like that. Hold above this level. Target the top side at 30, and then this thing can easily push all the way up to, I think our next target is going to be about 46, right? Let's have a look at NEAR. Since the NVIDIA results came out, by the way, NVIDIA beat their expectations. Price is more or less in the same place. We looked at that yesterday. Strong weekly levels for NVIDIA, and we said probable trend continuation. High highs, high lows. Strong key weekly support, which is caught at right now, SR flip, and bang, it should go up, right? So that's all looking good. Here's NEAR, very similar to Injective in the sense that you just want to watch this grind out and immediately start to close candles above $6, right? Get above $5.90 to $6, and then expect trend continuation over here. If you don't do that and you gain acceptance below $5.59, well, then ultimately you have to look back to the mid-range. It may come down one more time. It may just simply mean then that NEAR needs a bit more time, right, to reaccumulate and then attempt again. So a lot of the coins, if you do see rejections, you know, you got the lows. Following those lows, you're probably looking for one more higher low into that level. Okay, what was the other one? Let's quickly go to SWI. SWI. Here's SWI, because it has been one of the best performers. Okay, SWI still looking okay. Very quickly, look at SEI. Okay, say still reaccumulating over here. Anything that comes back down into the bottom of the ascending triangle, which is going to be 37 cents, that becomes a buy zone, right? And then I saw there was a request on GRT. So we'll quickly have a look at GRT. There we go, GRT. It's just ranging. Honestly, it's just ranging. It's got a little bit more work to do. There is a bit of an SR flip level that comes in play over here if we just run this across. So there it is. I guess if you can continue to hold the momentum above 21, then this could continue on up, right? Next levels or areas of interest, I would be targeting about 30 cents. 30 cents is the next major resistance. That's your order block that led to that big down move over there. So that's what we're looking at over there. What else have we got? Again, guys, jump into Whale Room. You've got a couple days left to join under the Black Friday special. The prices will constantly go up as the market goes up. And also click on this link, right? Go to this link, click over here. It will take you to this page. Subscribe to Crypto Live. I'm going to be streaming there a lot, right? So that's it from me, folks. I'll see you all in the next one. Have an absolutely rocking day, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.